Have you ever wondered why ocean currents and wind currents and hurricanes tend to spin, and why they spin in different directions in the different hemispheres? See another picture here of how the ocean currents move in these circular patterns in the north, but they reverse their direction in the southern hemisphere. This is due to what's called the Coriolis Effect. You know all things move in straight lines. When I throw a ball, it moves in a straight line. When I fall, it moves in a straight line. If I push something, it rolls in a straight line. And essentially, all of this is normal physics. Nothing is pushing it in a different direction, so it just keeps going till it stops. But the Earth is spinning, and if the Earth spins underneath all of this moving straight lines, ocean currents, wind, it makes everything appear to curve. We'll look at some videos together in class about how this actually works, but what you need to know is that it deflects, which means appears to push or curve things to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. And this results in circular patterns for the wind and the ocean currents that are driven by the wind and the surface waves are all being pushed in the same directions. But of course, there's no actual force pushing them. It's just the appearance of a push because the Earth is spinning underneath these lines moving. Circular patterns of the flowing oceans form these gyres, these circular patterns that we see in the oceans, and that's just the name that we're giving to them. Hurricanes are an example of this. You see how ocean currents, which are warm, would warm the air, and that warm air rushes in and up to form these high amounts of clouds, which start to spin. And they spin for the same reason that the ocean and air currents do, which we'll look at right now. So let's say that we're talking about the ocean currents. If something is moving in a straight line, if it's in the northern hemisphere, it appears to move towards the right. And if something is moving south, it appears to move towards the right. And that's how you get a circular movement. And those circular patterns that you see are all due to this simple concept of moving and curving. If I was a hurricane and I was developing, I'd have water and air rushing in from all sides. But once again, in the north hemisphere, it gets deflected to the right. So each one of these lines curves a bit. You can see that this is going to create a spinning effect. Which creates that familiar circular pattern you see in hurricanes. And we come back to this, you can see that the movements are in different directions in the different hemispheres. So, if I could get rid of these lines, connect, extend, and challenge what you already knew, what was new, and what you still are having a bit of trouble with, keeping in mind we will be watching some videos and doing things to clarify this in class.